Deep in the frozen north, this hardcore crew
It's not a job for the weak of heart, that's for sure.
Put your wing up, Ollie. The trains are moving, we're all making money.
battle deadly ice
You're constantly fighting against ice, snow buildup.
and mountains of snow
When I see snow, I hate it.
to keep a crucial supply route open. The Ontario Northland Railway. This critical lifeline shuttles fuel, food and freight to remote communities throughout deep winter.
If you're not careful, the cold will beat you.
If the trains can't roll through this icy hell,
Can't see so well, the snow and the ice really affects the brakes.
these communities will not survive.
The train is vital for them. There is no road.
This time, deadly blizzards
Or the snow drift's got to be 3 or 4 feet tall here.
and wrecked equipment.
This is a real emergency. You cannot let the train over top of it.
Threaten to derail a massive haul of lumber.
Could cause major derailment.
Deep in the frozen north, Canada's most extreme stretch of railroad snakes over 1,000 kilometers through the wilderness. The Ontario Northland Railway was built almost 120 years ago. Today, it's a spine of steel that connects remote towns and far-flung communities.
It's very important for us to have the railroad. They need us, we need them.
People rely on this train daily. It may be the only means of transportation available.
The Ontario Northland Railway is one of the world's most northerly rail networks, the gateway to the Arctic. Almost 100 towns and villages are connected in the frozen north. The railway provides a vital lifeline for First Nations communities. From Moosonee, down through the freight hub of Cochrane, branches spider out across Ontario to towns such as Iroquois Falls, Hearst, and Timmins. The line extends as far south as North Bay. In one of the harshest environments on Earth, it takes a close-knit team. The rail network employs 120 track workers,
We're gonna roll the rail out.
65 train engineers,
Look at that.
and a 50-strong yard team.
Big guns out here. Time to blow some snow.
Only the toughest recruits can fight the freeze. Today, it rests on the shoulders of battle-hardened conductor JR
And good when you stop.
Stand by, Trevor.
and newbie trainee Trevor to ship a massive load of lumber east through the snow and ice.
We got a conductor trainee with us today, so I'm showing him the ropes, showing him my wisdom and knowledge out here, and hopefully he picks a little bit of it up. The bad habits, hopefully he doesn't pick them up.
He's a great teacher, very patient, cool guy, easy to get along with. And time to get some lumber.
JR and Trevor's first task is to haul empty rail cars from Hearst to Kelstock. Here they must load up with over 500 tons of freshly milled lumber. They have just over 2 hours to haul it back to Hearst. Then on to Kapuskasing to load up with 17 more cars from a paper mill before they reach Cochrane. But with blizzards forecast, It will be a race against the clock and Mother Nature to get the freight there on time.
There'll be a lot of curveballs thrown at us as far as cars going to different places that we weren't aware of. The snow is a big factor. The cold weather, everything's slower in the winter as far as moving, stopping. Our air pressure system on our train takes a lot longer in the cold. There's a variety of things that could go wrong out here, but everybody's pulling together to do the job. What's on the agenda tonight, Neil? Where are we going?
Locomotive engineer Neil is in the hot seat for this leg of the journey.
We got to keep him in check.
The conductor is the eyes and ears of the locomotive engineer, directing operations. While Trevor is just starting his journey as a conductor, JR's connection with this railway runs deep.
My father worked for the railway for 40 years. He started as ticket sales and made his way to vice president of the company. Yeah, VP. I don't think I'll make it quite that far.
The team relies on a monster machine to help them undertake this mission. Their enormous pulling power comes from this 18-meter-long diesel-electric locomotive engine. This turbocharged Titan gives them 3,000 horsepower, more than 15 SUVs. Weighing in at 113 tons, it carries enough fuel to power a family car more than 4.5 times around the planet. This beast has enough muscle to move 5,500 tons of cargo. That's more than 50 loaded freight cars.
Gives you a sense of pride as far as getting that job done and delivering the goods to people all over, especially in isolated communities such as Moosonee, bringing all kinds of products up to them and basically keeps that community going.
As the freight train thunders west, further up the line, track inspector Patrick Zagay undertakes a crucial inspection of the railroad line. He needs to make sure that trains can make it through the icy wilderness.
I'm the one that's driving on the tracks and spot defects before they become major derailments. In the cold, it's really stressful, it takes time. You're always constantly fighting against ice, snow buildup. It's an old line and lots of broken rail on this one. The thing we never want to do is to stop the train. The train's waiting, well, ain't money making. That's no good.
Today, his concentration will be tested. It's his last day as a bachelor.
Yeah, I'll be finished my shift tonight, and tomorrow I'll be married. That's crazy. Family's coming over. I'll have a few drinks for sure. That's where we're gonna turn out to be an animal. I got a good family picture on the screensaver, so every time I open my laptop at work, well, I feel like I got my family with me.
Pat has one of the most critical jobs on the line. It's his responsibility to forensically check hundreds of kilometers of track, to hunt down broken rails and damaged joints that could cause trains to derail.
That would be a catastrophe. And that's one of the main reasons that we have to patrol this line.
If he finds any problem with the track, he has the power to close the line.
It's really critical to keep the train flowing and keep everything working. We're looking for broken rails, any sounds. Right now we're gonna hear for a bang or a sound, anything. Might feel something.
Pat rides in a specially adapted truck called a high rail. Just driving a regular truck along the rails to inspect the track will not end well. The rubber tires will slip, and the truck will get stuck. A high rail is specially designed for the railway, fitted with an additional set of steel wheels front and rear. Pat uses hidden hydraulic pistons to lower these wheels onto the track. As the high rail rolls down the line, Pat feels every knock and vibration through the steel wheels as they pass over the joints between the lengths of rail. If he feels a bang, it could be a gap in the track. If not quickly fixed, a broken joint could derail a train, making this trusty workhorse a vital weapon in the battle to keep the freight flowing.
Might feel something. Worse than counting. I found 7 rail in one day on this line.
Pat's team patrols almost 200 kilometers of track each week and fixes hundreds of faults each year.
Now I just heard a good bang here. I'm gonna have to back up and get out and actually check it.
If Pat finds a gap in the track, he may need to shut down this section of the line. On board the freight train, JR, Trevor and Neil have almost reached their first stop to pick up 6 cars of freshly milled lumber.
I've never been in the lumber mill. I'm sure it's an interesting process. They ship a lot of lumber loads through us, and it would be pretty cool to see.
The mill has kept up to 250 local people employed here for over 75 years. Only possible because of the railroad.
We ship about 65% of our lumber by rail, which amounts to over 600 cars a year. We can ship all over the States, and we ship approximately 85% of our lumber to the States. So the railroad, extremely important for us.
Sales manager Yves Brunel races to prepare the massive lumber load for JR and Trevor.
My job is to make sure that we have the lumber ready and that we ship on time. It is extremely important for my clients to have their lumber on time. If it is delayed, probably they would cancel our orders and they'd buy it somewhere else, and there's a good chance we'd be liable to pay the difference in price. We have to keep a huge inventory of logs in order to be able to run year-round.
Yves is up against the clock to get these trees turned into construction materials and get them loaded and shipped in a matter of hours. But no freight is moving anywhere if Track Inspector Pat needs to close this line because of a broken rail.
It's pretty much a big gap. Make sure all the bolts are there. Thought it would have been a pull apart, but all bolts are there, so good to go. Look for the next one.
This time, it's a false alarm. It's a large gap, but the joint holds strong.
If it would have been a broken rail or a pull apart to the next train, yeah, chances would be a derailment. Need to keep that lumber flowing, get that lumber shipped all over the world.
At the mill, it's down to Yves to get the lumber flowing.
Now we're going to be heading to the sawmill where we produce the lumber.
This mill produces over 70,000 tons of high-grade pine boards each year. That's enough to build over 5,000 homes.
This is where you saw outside the trucks come in, they're unloaded. This is where the trees come in. So all the bark is taken off the log.
The tree trunks are eviscerated by thousands of steel teeth in machines called debarkers.
They go through the debarkers, and they're cut to their precise length, at least 16 feet or less.
Sawing regular trees is pretty simple, but they're not all playing ball. The bent trees need to be put straight too.
This probably is the coolest part. Look, it's a crooked log. It goes through the machine and it's cut with the curve. It's being cut with the angle. Perfect. So you end up not losing any lumber when you cut with the curve. Just a thing of beauty, this curve sawing. There's a lot of work that goes into making a 2x4.
Only now can the prime wood boards be cut down to size, stacked according to grade, and packed for shipping.
All this is going to be picked up for the journey on the train.
Eve and his team have pulled out all the stops to get the 500-ton load ready for JR and Trevor's freight train.
Ready to go.
And they've made it just in time as the 200-meter-long beast pulls into the lumber yard.
All right, let's switch out this lumber.
All right, young trainee.
Now, it's time for some heavy shunting. They must disconnect their empty cars, then use their 3,000 horsepower diesel engine to attach the 6 fully loaded lumber cars to the train.
We're backing up. We're gonna stop at the spur where the cars have been loaded. We're gonna grab the cars out and we're gonna set them by.
Sounds easy, right? But conductor JR knows it's time to take a step back and see if his trainee Trevor can handle the heavy hauling heat.
Bring it back half car.
Back a half.
And 10 feet. 5 feet. And stop.
It's literally make or break time for Trevor. If he can't connect up the car's air brakes correctly, the train is going nowhere.
So the trainee here, he's cutting in these cars with air. The air system gives us our brakes. He's checking for handbrakes, taking handbrakes off, just checking the car. Take that one brake off.
Johnny's back in the engine now. He let me take over here to hit this last joint. Cutting in.
Trevor's hooked up the air brake hoses between the lumber cars, and the diesel engine is connected. But will the train move?
All right, we'll pull him ahead.
Yeah, okay ahead, Neil.
The air pressure in the brake hoses holds strong. And the 500 tons of freshly milled lumber is all set for its journey back to Hearst.
Doing good, doing good.
So Trevor's doing really well. I have the confidence in him. I've been kind of leaving him alone, just kind of watching over, making sure he's doing everything properly, but he's picking it up really fast.
All hooked up, Neil, ready to go.
Locomotive engineer Neil fires up the engine. He needs to get the lumber to Hearst in time to link it up to the Cochrane train. Track Inspector Pat makes good progress on his check of the line. Until...
Well, I feel a little bang.
he hits a serious problem.
See if I can see something out of the ordinary. Wolf, I think we got got something here. That's what we call a pull apart, and then it could cause major derailment.
The railway is made up of thousands of separate steel rails. These are bolted together with a metal plate on either side of the joint. During winter, freezing temperatures can make the steel rails contract. This puts enormous strain on the joints, snapping the bolts and pulling rails apart. If these gaps aren't spotted and fixed, they can cause a devastating derailment.
And I'll have to put the track out of service.
Pat must now fix the faulty track and reopen the line to keep the trains rolling.
Yeah, it's crucial that we get this train back to Hearst on time.
It's all downhill from here for JR and the team on board the lumber train. A slight gradient means they can pick up extra speed, but the slope and the extra load has a major effect on the braking of the train. A fully loaded train can take 3 times longer to stop than an unloaded train.
Pulling loads is a little different than empties, and especially braking takes longer to brake, so if we ever have to have Neil stop, we got to take that into account.
The train's brakes could soon be tested to their limit. Up the line, track inspector Pat Zagay has closed a section of track with a broken rail.
No train can come through here until this just gets fixed. That's completely dead track.
Almost every bolt in the joint has exploded. The entire rail needs to be replaced.
I'll call the crew and come and fix it as soon as they can before the next train. We'll just mark it for them.
It's now a race against time for the track maintenance team to install a new rail.
The RTC, so when trucks put the Pat's gear over, I would like to put the Peglo spur out of service for pull apart over.
No problem, Pat. We're heading there right now.
It now rests on the shoulders of foreman Darren Martin and rail worker Pat LaRue to try and get the track back online.
This is a real emergency. You cannot let the train over top of it until it's been repaired. Then we have a derailment that's worth like millions of dollars, so it has to be done.
Darren's inspection reveals the power of an exploding railway joint.
They sheared the bolt right off. When they do break, it usually sounds like a shotgun there, and kaboom. You're going to the hospital, right? You're not going to be around anymore.
First job, smash the rail free from the frozen ballast.
You end up slipping with your track hammer. I've had it like 5-6 times now. Your thumb will just explode. It's not a job for the weak of heart, this kind of job, that's for sure there.
Next, bring in the high-powered hydraulic wrench to loosen the last remaining bolt in the joint.
Things are gonna get very noisy around here.
But even power tools can't persuade the bolt to budge.
The bolt is bent, so it won't come apart no more. So I have to go to my next step here. I'm gonna put the rail saw on and I'm gonna cut the bolt off.
Darren must work fast to fix and clear the tracks to allow the next train to pass through.
It's a collective effort. Conductors, engineers, brakemen, guys that work on the track, everybody does their share and keeps the things running smoothly.
But the brutal conditions slow down every stage of the fix.
I do my hydraulic hose.
The hydraulic hose needed to power the saw is frozen solid.
See the inside of your fitting? It's frozen open.
Darren can't afford any delay. The hose must be thawed fast. to improvise to get his rail saw up and running.
And now I have to go put it in the heater on the side of my truck. This is how Northern Ontario, you have to do a lot of stuff to get them to work. Nothing ever works very good when it's cold. Any other time we would put it in the back seat of the truck and we would let it just sit there for maybe a half an hour, but it's an emergency, we don't have time, so this is the emergency way we do it. We cannot delay this train, we have to get this done as fast as we can. And now, thawed out, ready to go. 2-3 minute fix. And now, there it is. Gonna be a little bit of sparks.
Finally, the faulty joint is disassembled, and Darren can remove the steel clamps, called anchors, that hold the rails straight on the timber ties.
My coworker, Pat, is taking off the anchors. And that's how you do it. Knock them off with a hammer.
Now, Darren and Pat must cut out the broken section of track to slot in a new steel rail.
We'll put the new one in, and we'll be good to go.
Darren must get his measurements spot on. If he cuts out too little, he'll cause a major problem when the new rail section expands in the heat of the summer.
I don't want it tight. I have a 1/4-inch gap there for play, because in the spring and in the summer, the rails get bigger, right? We're gonna do the best thing, we're gonna cut a rail.
It's critical the rail is cut perfectly straight, so they use a brace to hold the saw onto the rail.
Ready for the spark show?
Powered by the hydraulic system on Darren's truck, the rail saw blade spins at over 4,000 RPM and slices through the steel like butter.
Okay, and that's it. We're cut through the rail. Now we're gonna pull this rail out and put the other one in. I'm just gonna slide her down first, Pat. Watch your feet, brother. Okay, up we go. Just like that.
They install the new rail and leave only a 1/4-inch gap. Once the hydraulics are thawed out with Darren's patented method,
Now warm it up again.
they can drill the bolt holes.
And it cuts through a rail in a matter of a minute, right? You would never do that by hand, that's for sure.
They lock the ends of the rail in place with steel plates to form a fresh joint.
Just like putting mom into papa. In it goes there, and there we go. They're all in. Now they just need to be tightened up.
One final turn, and the new rail is good to go.
We're gonna get out of the way so the train can pass through. So now we're out of here.
The track is fixed, and just in time. The freight train passes over the new rail without a bump or a bang.
When we get back to the hearse yard, we're going to put these cars on a train, which will head to Cochrane, then on its way to North Bay, and then they'll go anywhere in North America, all over the world, possibly.
Trevor may be just 3 weeks into his conductor training, but he's already clocked up 9 years on the railroad.
The field I came into when I first started was on the maintenance side, swinging a hammer, changing rails. That's where I first started off. But I've always seen the conductors and all that when I was younger too, and I've always fascinated by the trains, and now it feels pretty good to be part of what they do now. And 2 cars for the switch.
Trevor's time swinging hammers has made him famous as the toughest guy on this railroad.
We got like a competition every year there. It's like a spike champ competition. I'm the spike champ now for 2018, 2019 season now, so it's going pretty good so far.
Railroad spikes hold the track to the timber ties. Hammering these home requires great skill and precision. During the 19th century, in the early days of railroad construction, workers would sing songs to keep the rhythm while driving spikes in unison. Gangs would compete in time trials to see who had the best technique. The spike driving competition was born. Although today machines drive spikes and build railroads at high speed, track workers from all over North America still keep the spike driving tradition alive. Competition is fierce amongst the railroaders, with the winner earning a place in railroad history.
Yeah, I don't take part in the spike driving challenge. I never worked on the track, so I might embarrass myself if I try that out, but I like to watch, and now that he's been training with me, I'll be there cheering him on next time he enters the competition.
Trevor's muscles are about to be put to the test as Neil eases down the diesel engine and applies the air brakes. The 6 cars of lumber arrive on schedule into Hearst.
Got to set it all off and it'll be all set to go on the next freight train out. And we made our deadline. Good job.
Experienced conductor JR can see a bright future for trainee Trevor, who's passed today's test with flying colours.
He's doing a great job. He's picking it up a lot quicker than a lot of guys do. I can't say nothing but positive things about him. I think he's going to be a good conductor.
Trevor connects the 6 lumber cars into another freight train. This new train will be almost 750 metres long and weigh over 4,000 tonnes. It leaves for Cochrane in the morning.
10 feet and top.
Today's been a good day. Everything went smooth, everything went as planned. We made it in time for the freight train to Cochrane, and this lumber can be shipped off all over the world.
But as Trevor gets to work,
And cutting in.
connecting the air brake hoses to build the 39-car train,
Hey, it's full of sun in my arm.
he runs into trouble.
Yeah, full of sun in my arm. I can't get the joint right now.
It's minus 20 degrees, and the brake hoses have frozen solid, taking Trevor by surprise.
I twisted the wrong way with my arm, I guess, and I just felt something pop. Kind of sucks to be taken out by the rest of the day. This might cost me the rest of my week. So I was gonna head to the doctor's office and see what he has to say.
The weather may have beaten Trevor today.
Yeah, if you're not careful out here, the weather will get you. The cold will beat you. And I may hurt my arm, but it doesn't put me out. I'm still a spike champ.
"6 a.m., Hearst Yard. The 500 tons of lumber is ready to be hauled more than 200 kilometres to the rail yard in Cochrane.
Hey, so we're all set to go.
Yeah, good to go, Mike.
This leg of the mission falls to engineer Mike Black, conductor Colin Orlowski, and trainee Andrew Chapman.
It looks pretty nice out there.
Another beautiful day.
But overnight, a brutal blizzard has battered northern Ontario. Almost a metre of snow has been dumped onto the tracks, and temperatures have plummeted, dropping below minus 30. The crew now face a treacherous 6-hour journey.
We're in the middle of a pretty bad snowstorm here right now, so kind of keep our fingers crossed everything goes well. We don't have any problems.
And to add to the pressure, They also have to pick up 17 cars, loaded with almost 500 tons of paper at Kappa's casing, making their train even longer, heavier, and harder to handle.
Yeah, with all the snow, it definitely makes the job a lot harder. Driving the train, you got a lot of responsibilities. You got to know all the track. You got to, a lot of the times, like the weather like today, you can't really see very far, so you pretty well have to memorize every inch of the track.
Waiting for their arrival at the freight yard in Cochrane is Ontario Northland Railway veteran Jay Faldeen.
Go ahead, 2201.
He's seen it all in his time on the railroad.
I've been relatively lucky in 18 years. There's been nothing too severe.
Stop, 2201.
Yeah, there's been medical emergencies, some seizures. I've had a woman went into labor on a train once. That was fun.
Talking of tough deliveries, Jay needs the cool head of a midwife and the focus of an air traffic controller to keep this yard running smoothly. It's constantly busy, a 24-hour operation. Hundreds of thousands of rail cars, each carrying tons of freight, pass through here each year. Today, Jay must master this constantly shifting jigsaw puzzle.
Stop, 2201.
To free up enough track in the yard for the next train due in, he must clear out dozens of freight cars on a train bound for the north.
Today it's gonna be 7, 8 transports, with groceries and whatnot in it. There's building supplies, we've got some fuel cars going up. That's what I know is going on right now, but that could very well change in the next 20 minutes. Or those two are going into the town, eh?
Make it 2 now, 2201.
But getting this wrong would hold up the entire supply chain and cost the railroad millions of dollars. Mike is plowing through ever-deepening snowdrifts in a desperate bid to get to the Cochrane yard.
You can't see so well. The snow and the ice really affects the brakes. So you got to take a lot of extra care to make sure you can slow down or stop if you need to.
Track vehicles and workers could be on the same section of line. In such limited visibility, this journey could end in disaster. So Colin must request clearance to enter a new section of track from train control.
Those are track authorities. So that's your permission to use the track between Kappa's casing and Cochrane on this one. We all get a copy of the clearance so everybody knows what's going on.
The train has one last stop before Cochrane, the paper-producing town of Kappa's casing.
All right, let's go. All right. So now I'm cutting the engines off and we're gonna take the engines up to the next switch, then come back down to number 1 track.
The team now has to hook up 17 more cars, loaded with almost 500 tons of paper. They cannot afford any delay, but Mother Nature is in no mood to help them out. The temperature is dropping fast.
20 feet. 10. That'll do. All good.
For the trainee conductors, it can be a steep learning curve.
Yeah, Andrew thought his radio wasn't working, but he's on the wrong channel. New guys, eh? Let the journey begin. Hey, we should be good to go when you're ready, Mike.
Good to go.
The train now weighs a staggering 4,700 tons and snakes over a kilometre in length.
So now you got to prepare even more for when you need the brakes. But plus, with the cold weather that we have right now, the air gets really thin. So you have to be careful again for that reason. We can't really afford any delays today. Hopefully everything goes well. So you got to get this into Cochrane as soon as we can.
Mike and his vast train are just 1 hour from their destination at Cochrane. Now Jay must pull out all the stops, clear his decks, and build a freight train to leave for the north. This should make enough space for the next freight train when it arrives.
We're just kind of switching back and forth between tracks right now. I'll grab the cut.
Building a freight train is a logistical puzzle. Cochrane Yard has 5 storage tracks running parallel with the main line. The cars Jay needs for his train are stuck in other consignments around the yard. So, using a single diesel engine, he must break up these trains to liberate the cars he needs. At each junction, there's a switch that allows him to haul out cars and switch them onto other tracks. But in this game of cargo chess, one false move could cause long delays. After hours of shunting and switching, juggling and cajoling, he will eventually complete his build and clear enough space for the next giant train.
We're just sorting out the boxcars that we need to go to Moosonee and the ones that are going to stay here in Cochrane. So we got a little bit of back and forth between the 2 tracks.
But back on board, Mike is still fighting through the banks of snow that are building along the line. The drifts are getting bigger and bigger by the mile.
Where the snow drifts got to be 3 or 4 feet tall here. That's what you see every day anyways. We're going to hit another snowbank here. He's going to get covered in snow here. Today's pretty much going to be continuous plowing through snow drifts the entire way. Like that one.
The road to Cochrane runs alongside the track, so Mike and Colin have a front row seat to see the traffic carnage the weather is causing.
The roads are pretty bad out there today. There was an accident.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty bad one. Hopefully everybody's all right.
Yeah, I guess nobody's going any further to Cochrane today on the road unless you're going by train.
Yeah, that's one good thing about the trains. We don't really stop for the weather. Not much holds us back.
Lots of snow out there, but it's not going to stop us.
No.
Stop, 2201. Stop.
It's taken hours, but at Cochrane Station, Jay has finally built his train, which leaves to make room in the yard.
We got to get our train out to Moosonee.
And he's done it just in time. By clearing the yard, the freight train can deliver its massive cargo.
We're there on time. Just about in. Hopefully we're lined up. Well, we got everything into Cochrane. Good job, guys.
The lumber from the mill in Calstock and the paper from the factory in Kapuskasing can now be distributed to markets around the world.
Made it. Another one for the history books.
It's taken the eagle-eyed track maintenance team,
There's people that can do it and people that can't.
an army of timber-munching machines,
It is extremely important to have their lumber on time.
and a heavy-hauling cargo crews
Great day, for sure.
to keep the freight flowing on one of the world's most extreme railroads. At the outer reaches of the Arctic, this hardcore crew
Minus 12, wind chill minus 22.
This is actually a nice day.
battle mountains of snow
This is where it gets bad.
and sheets of ice
With some ice buildup, there could be a derailment.
to keep a crucial supply route open.
It's a track emergency and we got a train coming.
The Ontario Northland Railway.
A variety of things that could go wrong out here.
This critical lifeline transports fuel food and freight to remote communities throughout deep winter.
It gets pretty dangerous out there. You want to be stranded.
If the trains can't roll through this frozen hell,
The weather definitely makes it worse, for sure.
these communities may not survive.
For Northern Ontario, it's a lifeline.
This time, a deadly blizzard
We get some freak snowstorms. There's always ice to consider.
and smashed tracks
Can't lift it with just the bar. Won't let us.
threaten to derail a crucial 2,000-ton cargo run.
You're always constantly fighting against ice, snow buildup.
Come on!
They're calling for freezing rain tonight, so we gotta watch out.
Deep in the frozen north, one of the world's most extreme stretches of railroad snakes over 1,000 kilometers across the tundra. The Ontario Northland Railway was built almost 120 years ago. Today, it's a backbone of steel and a gateway to the Arctic. Almost 100 towns and villages are connected in the frozen north. A draw for tourists and a vital lifeline for First Nations communities and industry. From Moosonee to the freight hub of Cochrane, branches spider out across the province to communities such as Hearst and Timmins. The line extends as far south as North Bay, where freight is distributed out to the national and international trading hubs of Toronto, Montreal, and New York. This northern powerhouse brings up to $63 million each year to the local economy. But in one of the harshest environments on Earth, it takes an elite team
Come on!
and monster machines to keep the trains moving. It's 6 a.m. in Hearst Yard. Sub-zero conditions and a blizzard overnight have left the trains and tracks frozen with snow and ice.
Hello, hello.
Conductor Jay Faldine is gearing up to do battle with the freezing conditions. To take one of the railroad's longest freight trains on a mission to transport 2,000 tons of crucial cargo.
It's a bit of a mixed bag on today. We got some fuel, we got a little bit of lumber. We've got just over 2,000 tons on today and about in the neighborhood of 1,400 feet.
Jay needs massive pulling power to complete today's mission. 2 mighty diesel-electric locomotives lead the train. Each contains a giant 16-cylinder engine that pumps out more power than 10 SUVs. Weighing 100 tons apiece, together they have enough power to pull loads of up to 9,000 tons at speeds of up to 90 kilometers per hour. Jay's heading east to the local hub of Cochrane. The fuel and lumber are already on board, but he must make a crucial stop to pick up a 2,500-ton load of newsprint.
We have a stop to pick up at least 24 loads of newsprint that we bring to Cochrane as well. Then it goes down into the States or Canada for different newspapers, whether it be the Toronto Star or papers down in the United States. We don't want anything to delay us. We want to get from Hearst to Cochrane as quickly and as safely as we can.
Jay's on a time-critical mission. Starting at Hearst, His train will pick up a 2,500-ton supply of newsprint from the paper mill in Kapuskasing. He must haul this through heavy snow and several iced-up road crossings to the hub at Cochrane. Here, yard workers will build the train up into one of the longest on the network, before heading to Englehart and eventually the printing press of the Toronto Star newspaper. It's vital the newsprint gets there on time. This supersized paper run is close to Jay's heart.
Way back in the day, one of my first jobs was riding around the neighborhood on my bicycle delivering newspapers. 35 years later, I'm a paper boy still, just on a bigger scale. I'm a bit of a traditionalist. I still read a newspaper. I don't read anything online. So it's kind of nice to still be contributing to that with some of the stuff that we haul.
The mill at Kapuskasing relies completely on the train to send its paper south. It now produces 200,000 tons of newsprint every day from timber harvested nearby. Winter is their busiest time because this is when the ground around forests like this freezes.
It's a big race to get it done because what you're standing on right now is actually peat moss, black muck frozen together. Once the sun comes out, the thaw starts, we can't get in and out of this area at all.
Gilles Cyr looks after 12,000 square kilometers of forest. He has just a 3-month window during the winter to harvest the timber before the swamp thaws and becomes impassable.
Time restriction is a big issue. We operate 24 hours a day, all the machinery.
For maximum speed, Gilles relies on a fleet of extraordinary mega machines. First up, a tree-cutting colossus known as the Fellabuncher.
It's a heavy machine. It doesn't look fast, but it'll reach you pretty fast, put you in a danger zone in no time.
Next, a $350,000, 23-ton skidder moves the freshly cut trees out of the forest to the roadside. And finally, the 27-ton delimber shreds off the branches.
You'll finish up the final touches for the wood to get to the mill. You'll be taking the limbs off, you'll top it off, pile it nice and neat.
They load the timber onto trucks in 42-ton batches and send them to paper mills to be processed.
All my buddies down there will be happy to see it coming in because they'll make the final product.
The mill needs the freight trains to haul the newsprint south on time.
It feeds some pretty big publications in the United States and in Canada, Toronto, New York, Chicago.
The paper train is a critical run for the railroad. It's also one of the heaviest trains on the line.
Yeah, that is correct. Thank you very much, RTC. Track's about to go.
So up ahead, Track Inspector Pat Zugay must check on the rails for any defects before the train passes through.
I got lots of freight coming onto this line. There's a lot of tonnage going over it. So if I find something, I'll need to get fixed as fast as I can. And we got some really cold winters. If we've got a lot of frost and snow, we usually get around minus 40 to minus 30. And we've got to inspect every single joint.
And as Pat pushes further down the line, it's not just the joints in the track that could be a danger. The blizzards overnight have left massive dumps of snow on the tracks.
It's one of the worst winter I ever had for snow. If the snow fighter don't remove the snow, it creates a buildup, and you don't want that. It's really important that the snow fighter remove the snow. No, we can't stop that train, so we need to get that fixed ASAP.
train, Jay's got problems of his own.
Oh my God. Typically, we have our hot box detectors, which tell us if there's any sticking brakes, dragging equipment, basically anything wrong with the train, but they're not working today. And that's where things could escalate, where you may end up with a really defective wheel, which could potentially do some damage.
At regular intervals along the line, infrared detectors mounted on the track, called hotboxes, measure the temperature of the train's wheels as they pass. If a wheel is stuck or a brake gets jammed, the wheel gets hot and the hotbox identifies it as faulty. The exact location of the faulty or hot wheel is relayed to the conductor, who can stop the train and check the defective wheel.
If we go 60 miles without the hot box detectors working, we have to stop the train.
Without the detectors, he'll have to do it the old-fashioned way.
We've got to get to it. We've got to get ready here and hop off the train and just do a pull-by inspection of our entire train to make sure everything's okay. We've got to keep everything moving.
While Jay goes trackside, engineer Mike remains at the controls. As the train passes, Jay checks each wheel to see if it's sticking.
We got to do a complete pull-by with our train, just to inspect all the cars.
With a half-kilometre, 40-car train, it takes some time. Whilst Jay is responsible for the loco engines and cars on the tracks, back at base, there's another vital team who makes sure these super tough machines keep rolling, no matter what the brutal winters throw at them.
We have a lot of freight to move. When it's time to overhaul these things, we got to get it done as quick as possible so we can get it back out on the rails as fast as we can.
At the railroad's huge 4,400 square metre machine shop in North Bay, more than 200 engineers and mechanics carry out critical repairs on the entire fleet.
There is a lot of pressure because there's a lot of variables with a unit like this.
To keep the locomotives going through the extreme conditions, workers completely deconstruct, restore and rebuild each machine from the ground up every 10 years.
These machines are quite complex. Usually a 2 or 3 week strip time to tear this unit down from top to bottom, and then there's a build time where it usually takes 4 or 5 weeks to build the engine, the generator overhaul, the trucks. It's a pretty complex procedure.
Today is the first day of a refurb on a crucial locomotive that serves the far north. This engine is massive. It weighs more than 115 tons and is made up of more than 500 components.
We're good here?
Mechanic Andrew's first job is to remove the huge metal roof and body panels.
We're gonna lift off that 15-foot roof section to make some room for the overhaul so we can start pulling pieces off of it. Once all the body panels are off, then it's all hands on deck. So right now, got the chain on there. He's gonna bring it up on top of the roof, and then Zach's gonna be up top.
The huge steel body panels that protect the locomotive weigh up to 2 tons each.
That's nice and straight. Any type of lift, there's always danger in there.
The team work methodically, removing all of the train's panels one by one.
Yeah, you're good. That's coming. I love doing overhauls. Everything on this will either be brand new or reconditioned when it goes back together.
The workshop and its highly skilled team can strip down every component of a working locomotive and rebuild it from scratch.
In the automotive world, your starter goes, your alternator goes, you just go and get a new one. But here, the parts are so much bigger and so expensive, you're not gonna throw out a $15,000 alternator because it needs a rebuild. So they'll rebuild it and overhaul it.
But a comprehensive overhaul like this on such a large machine creates unique challenges for Troy and the team.
It's a pressure the whole time. Every single unit's different. None just go easy. There's something always fights you.
Extreme snow makes a big difference on the fleet. We get a lot of major breakdowns. Until we get the unit stripped down to the raw material, we might not know what parts we need.
Finally, the locomotive roof and main body panels are off.
This is when it starts, yep. This is when the ball gets rolling.
The mechanics still have a long way to go, but the end result more than makes up for all their hard work.
They're bulletproof. It blows me away every day that I'm here, how long and how strong these actually are. And it takes a lot to take one out. They're tough, tough, tough.
The locomotive engines may be tough.
Another 30 or so.
But on the tracks, Jay's biggest headache is the electronics.
Another 20. Our hot box detectors, they're not functioning today, so we got to do it ourselves. We got to do a complete pull-by with our train. Another 10 or 12.
With the train's detector system out of action, Jay must spot check every wheel of the half-kilometre-long train.
And 5 to go.
5 more.
Thankfully, no issues so far. Checked out good both sides.
Both sides restricted.
Yep, on our way up. Everything's good, no dragging equipment, no sticking brakes. We're good to keep on rolling.
The cars are fault-free, and after a long walk back to the cab, the paper train can power on. Jay and his super tough train battle heavy dumps of snow as they near the newsprint pickup.
Northern Ontario winters are a bit different than most other places. It gets pretty cold. The coldest I've ever worked in was -53 up in Moosonee. And that was a little bit extreme. This time of year, we get some freak snowstorms, or there's always ice to consider.
On the tracks, Inspector Pat is also battling Mother Nature.
You're always constantly fighting against ice, snow buildup.
So far this winter, temperatures have plunged to -41 degrees centigrade, and 76 meters of snow has fallen across the province. The trains can blast through light snow on top of the tracks, but heavy snow can derail lighter carriages and even locomotives. Several days of heavy snow means the line ahead urgently needs clearing before the train can pass through.
We had a lot of snow, and it's been down for a couple days, and now it's time to catch up.
Pat needs backup.
We got the snow fighters to clean the snow.
Thanks, okay, thank you. Checks for the pets, good.
I radioed my guys. They're on their way as fast as they can.
The paper train needs to get through on time, so he's calling in the big guns. A 24-ton monster machine, capable of blasting through even the deepest drifts. The Snow Fighter. This is a snow-slaying mega machine. Powered by a turbocharged 6-cylinder diesel-electric engine, it's capable of blasting through up to 2 meters of snow and ice. Up front, it has a specially molded steel blade. Operators can move this up and down and change its angle with millimetre precision. Either side, 4-metre-long mobile wings throw the snow clear of the tracks. This super tough machine can clear 100 kilometres of track every single day. In charge of Pat's snow fighter today is one of the line's most experienced operators, Pete Tuzine.
I'm going to get this job done today, and I'm not going to delay no freight today.
So your eyeball straight to a call stock, do the yard, move that snow as fast as you can, get back to hers, please.
Okay, sounds good, boss.
Yeah.
Pete sets the snow fighter's blades low and starts to punch through the snow.
I love it. My job is to get the snow off the track and prevent derailing.
These machines may be tough, but they're also worth over $500,000, and operating them takes skill.
I go as deep as I can, and I remove all the snow, push the snow as far as I can, and put the plow down so it'll take care of all the hard-packed snow.
Pete has been driving snow fighters for almost 35 years.
I operate any kind of machineries that the owner doesn't own it or rent it. I operate everything. I love the bush. I love you traveling every day. You're not always at the same location.
It's going to take all of Pete's experience and this machine's mighty muscle power to blast a clear path through the heavy snow drifts ahead. For the train crews, this can be the difference between life and death.
The snow fighters that we have out here and the spreaders, they're lifesavers. There's been times where snow or ice will hit one of the levers and pull the train apart. And I've had trips where I've walked back 40, 50 cars in hip-deep snow. And those are the days that you never forget. The days that the snow fighters are out, it's a blessing for sure.
But the subarctic storms have not only dumped mountains of snow across the line, they've also frozen the track solid with ice.
We have a lot of crossings along here. If we've got too much ice buildup on the crossings, there is the potential for a derailment, and that's something we definitely do not want.
It rests on the shoulders of Pat and the track maintenance teams to check for sections of ice-damaged rail and fix them as quickly as possible.
All our section guys will be out there today just doing everything that they do to make sure that we get across the track safely. A lot of the stuff they do is right on the spot. They find a problem, they fix it, and keep all the trains rolling.
As Pat continues his track patrol,
Spot a problem here.
it's not long before he discovers a serious problem. The crossing looks badly damaged.
We just found a defect here. We'll have a look at it. Doesn't look good. Look at the hump.
This is a dangerous fault. The rails bow upwards where they cross a local road.
And if we had a train going over this at track speed, there's a big chance of derailing. And we don't want that. So now I gotta call my guys up and come and fix it as soon as possible.
Where a road crosses the train tracks, regular car and truck traffic compresses any snow and ice. Over time, this drives the ice deeper into the soil beneath the track, making it colder than the surrounding earth. As the moist soil below freezes, it expands, lifting the earth and the tracks upwards. If it lifts up too much, this can derail a train. With the train hot on his heels, Pat calls in the maintenance crew to make an urgent fix.
Hey John, at mile 78.85, I got a surface defect. We need to do this as fast as we can before the next train, over.
Do as fast as you can for the next train, okay?
It's now a race against time to repair the track so the train can pass through. Down the tracks, Pete and his mighty snowplow are making good progress.
Okay, let you know when I'm close to 15, 1-5, over.
And smashing through the snowdrifts.
Yeah, let me know when you're close to 15.
I'm very close to it. I'll let you know when I'm at the bridge, over. The snow was heavy today, but I took care of it. I'm going to dirt this baby around, spin around, and get back home.
With the line clear, Jay's train can safely power into Kapuskasing.
RTC 01809 south here. We've arrived the North Kosh near limit sign Kapuskasing.
To load up.
Just going to pick up our paper loads here in Kapuskasing.
The mill has its own railroad siding, where they line up cars loaded with paper for shipping. Jay has to cut his train in two and switch the locomotive onto the side track to pick up the extra cars.
She's just gonna pull up to me and I'll get my cut to go back and get those, the paper cars.
The mill at Kapuskasing was built in the 1920s by the New York Times. They dammed a local river to create power, bought rights to 11,000 square kilometers of arboreal forest, and built a whole town around the mill. It provided paper for the New York Times right up to 1991, when the company pulled out. Employees and townspeople took ownership of the plant, saving the mill and hundreds of jobs. They now rely on the railroad to get their newsprint to its destination on time. So Jay's got to make sure all the cars are secure and in the right order.
Just bringing these cars up to the main line switch to back onto the paper in number 1.
Up ahead,
Get the hammer warmed up.
the track maintenance crew arrive to fix the damaged crossing.
We gotta get this done as quick as we can because there's a track emergency and we got a train coming. This is where the defect is. Really dipped right here. This is low and your crossing is high, so makes your crossing look like this right here, right now. Because when the train goes, that's when the braille goes bang and breaks in half. So we end up a real emergency.
Foreman Darren Martin has been working on the railroad for 25 years.
Come on, guys, we gotta get this done quick. My job is important because if we don't take care of the tracks, the trains can't run over top of it. Of course, you always want to be on your A game because train time is anytime, anywhere. You don't want to have any accidents, especially in this place.
He knows more than most how dangerous this work can be.
Took a spike to the face.
10 years ago, while hammering rails, a metal spike ricocheted up and hit his face.
It was in the ground, and I went to tamp it. It come flipping up, caught me like this, and ripped me wide open from there to there. So here I am holding my cheek together like this, and I went to the hospital for 4 hours.
Watch your step on the crossing, guys. It's real slippery there.
As Darren surveys the site, he realizes that this isn't going to be a quick fix.
Always at the crossing is always the worst spot.
Oh, man. Lots of ice.
Now I'm gonna dig out this rail and take all the ice out of here there because we have to get down to where we can see our spikes and our plates and our ties.
I'll get the other claw bar.
The team have to pull out over 50 frozen spikes using sheer brute force.
Oh, I hate these under the boat.
Then, they must carefully lift up the track either side of the crossing to even it out. This will be no simple task.
Those things are called shims, pieces of wood, and we're gonna put them underneath our plates to lift up the rail to make it even, like an even flow going all the way across. The little sharp hump is gonna be a long, gradual hump after we're done.
It's a slow and painstaking process. To flatten the hump, Darren's team first has to pull all the spikes holding the rails to the sleepers. Next, they have to lift the rails either side of the hump and put thin pieces of wood, called shims, underneath. Finally, they hammer the spikes back in. Lifting both rails either side of the hump evens out the slope, making the track safe.
The crossing is like this now. We have to take the rails on both sides and lift them up to make them even and an even slope instead of the train trying to go over.
Put some salt on the crossing so no one slips.
First, they try to lift the rails using claw bars.
We can't lift it with just the bars. It won't let us.
It's not moving. Darren needs a new plan, and fast.
Okay, we can't use 2 claw bars. Now I'm gonna get a track jack.
At Kappa's Casing, Jay races the clock to hook up the cars full of newsprint. He needs to make it to Cochrane before nightfall.
It's got some handbrakes I gotta pop off here.
It's a battle against the plummeting temperatures.
That's one of the few things about this job. When it's cold, everything's metal. Everything you're touching or hanging onto is metal.
With the cars finally attached, they can power on to Cochrane. But navigating a kilometre-long train takes skill.
Now that we've left Kappa's Casing, we've got about 4,500 tons and about 2,700 feet on.
It's vital Jay gets to Cochrane quickly. Stopping this monster train isn't an option. For the track team, the pressure is on.
We gotta keep an eye on the time.
Jay's train has left the station. Now Darren needs to bring out the heavy metal.
This jack is good for like 50, I think it's 50 tons. It's a track jack. It's used for lifting track. And down here at the bottom, you can lift the rail from underneath. You see this plate here? This plate lip is supposed to be over top of this rail. Right now, it's below the rail, and the only thing holding it is a chunk of ice and these spikes. So it's nothing for the train to go over, and we'd have a derailment. We don't want that. And we're gonna put this under here, and we're gonna lift the track up. See, you listen now, it clicked.
It takes a huge amount of muscle power just to lift the track. Now they need to carefully slide the shims underneath.
Trains are very, very heavy, 200,000 pounds. Now he's gonna check to make sure that it's even. Too much? How's that?
It's just gotta go up a little wee bit more.
And put a shim in here before we drop. He's gonna check it again to make sure that it's good.
Yeah, that's better.
Darren's crew must work both sides of the hump, lifting rails as they go. It takes precise coordination to make sure the tracks are level.
You don't want a sharp down and you don't want a sharp up, because the trains don't do that. They go sharp right through, right? Then it would just keep going into the ditch there or wherever. We have to get it done fast because we have a train coming and we want to get it out of the way. We don't ever want to hold them up.
It's taking longer than they'd hoped.
Okay, I'm going to put the shim in now. Come on! We got a train coming!
On board the paper train, Jay is feeling the strain.
With the 24 cars we added, there's always ice to consider because everything melts and then refreezes. We end up with a fair bit of ice, and with the tonnage we have, it's a little bit of a tougher pull.
Bringing a kilometre-long train to a sudden stop is impossible. Jay is counting on the track crews to make the fix and clear the line.
We've got a lot of our section guys out, especially this time of year, and doing a lot of work, constantly shimming the track so they don't have to give us a slow order and keep us rolling. A broken rail is one of the things that could potentially cause a derailment, and that's something we definitely do not want.
Up ahead, Darren and the track crew are still struggling.
We'll get her done. We gotta get her done. Train's coming, man.
It's back-breaking work.
This job's not made for old guys like me.
It's always challenging around here because of winter time. Everything has to be dug out, blown out. Your tools are cold, and you always have to wear big, bulky mitts. You take a look at your rail, it's nice and even now. See, when the train goes over, it comes up nice and even, and we don't have any broken rails.
After an epic battle, the track is evened out. Now they have to fix all the rails in place.
It's gonna get loud here soon. He's using the hydraulic hammer. Things are looking up now. We're gonna get paid this week. Right on! Train goes through, we get paid.
Good job, guys. Good teamwork, man.
Darren's team has done it. The dangerous track is leveled out and ready to roll.
Everybody did an excellent job. Good job, boys. Let's clean this thing up. We want everything on time, every time. Is that our train coming?
Jay's massive train rolls smoothly over the tracks.
We're on the home stretch for sure. Couple more miles to go and we're done.
The paper train makes it through this stretch, but it's still got a long way to go before it reaches its final destination.
ON 1809 South, entering North Cautionary Limit Sign, Cochrane Junction. It's important for us to get in there so that the yard shift can put the train together.
The train pulls into Cochrane. Here, yard workers will hook dozens more cars to Jay's train, turning it into a 90-car, 1.5 kilometre giant. Only then can the train and its newsprint head to Toronto and on to North America.
I gotta cut our train off here and put some handbrakes on and go over to the shop track.
Jay's day is far from done.
It's not unheard of for it to be 90 to 100 cars. It's easily the longest and biggest train we have on the system.
Not only do they risk losing the light, but a storm is set to hit.
They're calling for freezing rain tonight too, so we gotta watch out where we step now and be careful getting on and off the cars.
On shift is trainee conductor, Trevor Tobico, and he's feeling the pressure.
Got a lot of paperwork. It's gonna be a pretty busy night tonight. I'm just a conductor trainee right now, so I've been trainee for about maybe a month now. There's a lot more to it than what I thought. I'm not too sure where that one's going to. I'm a little lost right now. This is gonna be the hardest part to figure out. We get a train journal every day. We gotta make up the trains. And it shows where everything is, and what we gotta decide is how we're gonna get them out on the line the fastest.
Engineers have to attach the new cars to Jay's train in a specific order.
Big game of Tetris with a few 100 tons each.
The crew must break the train apart and direct the yard locomotives to shunt cars backwards and forwards through multiple switches.
One more 18-9.
Until they are all in the right place.
Just gotta line this switch so we can bring the engines up to the shop tracks. If I can get it unlocked.
Building a train this big is tough at the best of times. But it's about to get a whole lot tougher as storm clouds gather.
It looks like it'll just be snow, but under it could be a sheet of ice, and you're getting off a car and you step on that and you could get lucky and just miss it, or you could fall in the track. That's one thing you gotta watch out for.
The snow and ice start to take their toll.
3 switches frozen there, guys.
The weather's been kind of funky. All the snow gets in the switch and it's just frozen solid. We can't turn them anymore. We gotta get them all shipped out underneath.
Without these switches, Trevor can't build the train. So he takes matters into his own hands. Finally, they clear the switches.
Good to go.
But with the snowstorm bearing down on them, they must move fast.
And you got 8 cars to switch.
Before long, Trevor's moving cars around the yard like a fully fledged conductor.
Yeah, 2 cars. It's gonna be a bit of an experience to get used to. A lot of the guys say I'm catching on quick. I'm having fun, I'm enjoying it.
After a long evening's work, they've beaten the snow and ice. The monster paper train is built and ready to leave.
We've got our leg of the journey done from Hearst to Cochrane. It's important that we got here with our train today.
Its precious cargo of newsprint will now head south, where it will be turned into newspapers for the masses.
It'll be headed to places like New York Times, Toronto Star, Chicago Tribune, probably a few other papers across North America.
After 6 hours, this paper train has traveled over 200 kilometers through the freezing wilderness. It's taken dedicated cargo crews.
Entering North Cautionary Limit Sign, Cochrane Junction. We've done our bit for today. We got everything in here in plenty of time.
Tough track maintenance teams.
We always work hard, and it's just the way it is.
Highly skilled mechanics. And quick-thinking yard workers.
1 car, and stop 85.
To get the newsprint to the printers on time. On one of the world's most extreme railroads.
Basically, I guess, job well done.
Deep in the frozen north, this hardcore crew
This is where it gets bad. Oh.
battle deadly snowstorms.
It's a harsh land up there.
And killer ice.
Most dangerous thing is probably the wind chill factor. Things freeze pretty quick.
To keep a crucial supply route open. The Ontario Northland Railway. This critical lifeline transports fuel, food, and freight to remote communities throughout deep winter.
If you're not careful, the cold will beat you.
If the trains can't roll through this frozen hell,
Can't see so well. The snow and the ice really affects the brakes.
these communities will not survive.
The train is vital for them. There is no road.
This time,
Oh,
broken machinery,
What is going on here?
twisted track,
Could get dangerous, yes. Could have a derailment.
and subarctic blizzards
There's some bad curves, big hills. It gets pretty bad in the winter.
threaten to leave passengers stranded.
Ah, my worst day.
Canada's most extreme stretch of railroad snakes over 1,000 kilometers. It's a backbone of steel that connects remote towns and far-flung communities.
It's a lifeline, in a sense, for Northern Ontario. It's almost a survival thing for them.
The Ontario Northland Railway is one of the world's most northerly rail networks, a gateway to the Arctic. Almost 100 towns and villages are connected in the stunning frozen north, a draw for tourists and a vital lifeline for First Nations communities. From Moosonee, down through the freight hub of Cochrane, branches spider out across Ontario to towns such as Iroquois Falls, Hearst and Timmins. The line extends as far south as North Bay.
this train is a link for them. There is no road. They can't get in and out, so the train is vital for them. They depend on it.
In one of the harshest environments on Earth, it takes an elite team.
Perfect. Head on.
To keep this railroad running. Only the toughest recruits can face the freeze. This railroad not only ships thousands of tons of freight each year, it also operates one of the world's northernmost passenger trains, the Polar Bear Express. This is one of the last trains that people can still flag down in the wilderness. It has connected the remote communities here for 55 years and runs all year round. Most of the year, there's no road up to the last stop on the line, Moosonee. So the Polar Bear Express also hauls vital supplies and vehicles to keep the communities here moving.
The railway from Moosonee to Cochrane is extremely important. The system is a lifeline for us.
Many communities live entirely off-grid here, all year round. Michael and Ann Wesley run a traditional First Nations retreat close to Moosonee.
The French River is that way. We're not going to the French River. We're going fishing down by the cabin.
Visitors from the south come here to explore the wilderness and experience off-grid living.
I just love the land up here. The tranquility. It's unique to the world. You don't find a lot of that going around nowadays.
It's just far away from the rat races I can go. The Cree tradition, our heritage. We hunt for ourselves, we fish for ourselves. Come on, fishy.
Visitors are a key part of the economy for this community. And in winter, the Polar Bear Express is the best way for them to reach Moosonee. Today, the railroad crew is gearing up to shuttle a group of explorers north.
It's a very unique experience for us. You know, we've never done this before. It's just as much a cultural trip as a ski trip, too.
The Polar Bear Express team will set out from Cochrane. It's a 6-hour journey north, with little chance of rescue in the wilderness. Through blizzards and a stunning landscape, the train is often the only way in or out, of the frozen town of Moosonee.
Weather here, it can be wonderful 1 minute, cold the next minute. You could freeze your feet, your hands, hypothermia if you're not wearing the proper clothes. The consequences would be bad.
Once the train leaves Cochrane, it's on its own in the wilderness. A team of mechanics race to ensure it's ready to face the elements.
We got to really make sure we don't mess up on these, because if the engine dies on the line, the guys don't have anything to keep them warm. So we got to make sure that these engines stay tip-top shape.
Everything looks good, there's no oil.
This is a train overhaul on steroids.
Okay, so we drained the lube oil filter housing. So we'll sign that one off.
The list of jobs is extensive, from checking the 1,000-litre cooling system for leaks to changing oil filters the size of dustbins.
We don't change oil, we just change filters. Perfect.
The locomotive engine works very differently to the average car engine. On a train, the engine does not drive the wheels directly. It drives an electrical generator, which powers traction motors on each of the axles, turning the wheels. This system means no gearbox is needed. Simply raising the current to the motors increases the power to the wheels.
This inspection is really important. Our winter times are our hardest months. The locomotives are usually breaking down in the winter, and we have very little supply, so we need to get this one going. All right, man, it's time to fire these things up, make sure everything's running right.
The mechanics fire up the 2,000 horsepower engine to ensure it's running smooth and strong. But there's a problem.
Not good. Turn that off. Not good.
The engine has shut itself down. The mechanics scramble to find the fault and fix it before the loco needs to leave for Moosonee.
We're gonna move fast.
Okay, I'll go check the oil.
Outside at the station, the explorers wait to board the train for their journey north into the frozen wilderness. Team leader Frank briefs the team.
If someone falls in the water, you throw the float at the person. If you go under the water and the current takes you, sorry guys, that's it, bye-bye.
But these intrepid explorers are going nowhere until Jared and Phil hunt down and fix the fault on the Polar Bear Express.
EMS is off.
Yeah, we need it on. Yeah, that controls all the fuel management.
Their investigation finally reveals the critical problem.
So it's shut down on insufficient oil pressure.
Oh. What breaker did I miss?
The system's oil pressure has fallen through the floor. If it had not shut down, it could have blown the engine.
There's no oil pressure in the locomotive. We're gonna have to get that checked out, because if there's no oil pressure, the locomotive can't go today.
Switches are flicked. Dipsticks are dipped.
Is it holding 20 pounds?
It's holding 20.
Until finally...
Turn over.
Changing the filters temporarily lowered the oil pressure and shut down the engine. The oil's replenished and the pressure builds up. The locomotive is good to go.
It seems to be running good now, and it's sensing oil pressure. Gonna be good to go on the track. Hose her up. Good job, man. Time to get this train on the tracks.
The freshly fixed locomotive heads up the 6 carriages of the Polar Bear Express. The yard crew race to load up the equipment and skidoos for the big journey north. The massive 2,000 horsepower engine roars to life. This is one extreme train. The Polar Bear Express locomotive rolls on 4 axles and 8 wheels. Capable of speeds over 100 kilometers per hour. It produces enough electricity to power almost 1,000 homes. And it can haul dozens of passenger cars for over 800 kilometers without stopping.
Back on the move, heading to Moosonee.
The 300-kilometer journey will have not 1, but 2 train engineers in the cab. Sheldon Renault will switch with Jerry Miller halfway.
It's such a long day, you know, it helps out a lot.
A major snowstorm is forecast to roll in later today, which will make this journey a challenge.
We've seen some pretty big storms. We've always ran through them. Heavy snow. Visibility is not the greatest. They close the roads up north here quite often. Any heavy snowstorms, they close them down. They just can't keep up with the snowfall and cleaning them.
The storm is expected to dump up to 1 meter of snow, but closing the railway is not an option. To keep the line open, the team will need every weapon in their arsenal to clear the snow and get the Polar Bear Express through to Moosonee. Their biggest weapon, a fleet of 9 snow fighters.
This job isn't for everybody, only for the tough at heart.
These hardcore hydraulic-powered snow-busting beasts can punch through mountains of snow. They're equipped with special blowers that suck up and spit out tons of snow each minute. Snow fighter driver Chris Krasowski and his trainee Steve are already at the wheel. It's a constant battle to keep on top of the relentless snowfall. With yet another storm on the way, it's vital they clear as much as they can.
Well, if you don't keep on top of the snow here, it's going to go right over the tracks. It's going to interfere with our trains. When the trains are moving, we're all making money. When the trains are stopped, then there's questions to be asked. This is what we're paid to do. That snow may look white to you, but it's green to us. Oh.
But the snow fighter team has a problem.
Nothing.
The hydraulics that power the blower stop working.
Here we go again.
If they can't fix the machine and clear the line, the train won't get through to Moosonee. On the Polar Bear Express, drivers Sheldon and Jerry power through the frozen wilderness.
Only 175 more miles to go.
Conductor Chris Beedman is responsible for the safety of the adventurers on board, heading north to explore the icy landscape with the Moose Cree First Nation.
There are still a lot of people that do like to come up and see their way of living. And that's why these skiers are going up. They really want to get a look at it and see their way of life.
But living off-grid comes with risks.
You really got to take care of yourself when you're out there in the wild like this, because it's a harsh land up there. We ship food in and out, but they still like fishing and trapping, and basically still living off the land, which is great. But they have the train to get in and out, and that's their lifeline.
As the Polar Bear Express pushes north,
This is what they call the old lady smoke.
Anne Wesley prepares the camp for the visitors.
I'm going to try to make a fire here. Just waiting for the skiers, going to warm up their place for them, and hopefully it's a success. They've been doing it for a few years, and it's called Ski with the Cree. Well, we don't help them ski, we just watch them. No, they come here to learn some traditional stuff and some traditional way of life and come to have fun with us people. Look at that, fire, 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 you know.
The timber cabins here have added insulation for the uninitiated southerners.
We'll make it nice in here for them. They got their mattresses coming. That's where they're gonna sleep. This is what we use out in the bush. I think they'll like it. They'll stay toasty warm most of the night. They won't have to get up 3 or 4 times to stoke the fire.
Anne needs to work fast to prepare the camp. The explorers are just a few hours away. In the railroad's engineering shed.
What is going on here?
Chris's broken snow fighter arrives for emergency surgery. The machine is losing hydraulic oil.
Hydraulic oil is like blood. It runs to every function of the system to make it work. So without blood, you can't work. Same as a machine.
The snow fighter engine drives a hydraulic pump, which rotates at high speed. This forces over 700 litres of hydraulic oil per minute down a vast network of hoses. This pressure drives the blower and powers hydraulic cylinders that operate the plough and the wing shovels. But if a hydraulic hose to one of these pieces of machinery springs a leak, its operation will fail. If Chris cannot get the blower working, the storm may leave the train stranded in the wilderness. The Polar Bear Express makes good headway north towards Moosonee.
Where are you guys from?
Conductor Chris briefs the team on what to expect.
They have been spotting wolverines up here. You don't want to see any polar bears too close, so don't go near that. They're ferocious. They're coming in closer and closer. They're looking for food, eh? There's a lot of panic, eh, when that happens.
These explorers are not only being drawn north to explore its extreme landscape, but also to learn about and better understand the ancient Cree culture that has existed here for millennia.
People need to know how other people live in other parts of the world. And it's really nice to see people coming up and enjoying what we do and understanding it and sharing our culture.
The Cree is the largest group of First Nations in Canada. Many traditionally follow the seasonal migration of their prey, fishing, hunting and trapping game. Living in semi-permanent lodges, they travelled by canoe when open water allowed, and by snowshoe and toboggan in the winter months. Today, the Moose Cree First Nation continues to keep traditional practices and Cree culture alive.
Are we okay? Everybody ready?
Michael and Anne's knowledge of the land and the Moose River is essential to keep visitors here safe in the harsh environment.
The main trail is right here if you want to go on the main trail. The most dangerous thing of being out there in the open is probably the wind chill factor. Things freeze pretty quick. In your face, you won't really feel it. If your ears exposed, you won't really feel it. It'll just freeze quickly.
Michael guides explorers along the Moose River, which is frozen this time of year.
A lot of times things can go wrong, snow machine can break down. I fell into the ice one time. Luckily, the last thing I grabbed was my trusty lighter. I was able to make a fire, yeah, we survived. We try not to take them to too much of an extreme out there, you know. We try to they can enjoy it as much as they can, and if they wanted that extreme adventure, sure, we'll take it to them.
On board the Polar Bear Express, the oncoming storm looks set to close all other routes north.
In the wintertime up here, they shut the highways down more often now ahead of time. They close it down more out of precaution, you know, so they don't end up having a vehicle collision or something or fatalities. You don't want to be out there on the highways, that's for sure.
It's critical the line remains open It's the only way those on board will make it to Moosonee. Throughout the winter, an army of more than 120 track maintenance crew check every centimetre of the railroad to find and fix sections of damaged track. Snow and ice warp the rails and pull apart the joints. It's a constant battle to keep the track in shape.
Yeah, right under that hose, got to come up.
Track Inspector Rich Ferguson and his team are gearing up to repair a section of track before the next storm rolls in.
So here we have a hump. If we ran our eye along the rail, this is a hump here.
Rich has discovered a series of dips in this section of track.
3-inch hole, that's a deep one.
It's less like a railroad and more like a roller coaster.
Yeah, right there.
As winter bites on the railroad, the entire track is in flux. The ground beneath literally moves, causing the metal rails to warp and twist. This remarkable phenomenon is called frost heave.
It's just starting to all move now. The next few weeks, it's going to change a lot. Could get dangerous. Could have a derailment. A severe spot, the train could derail.
During summer, thawed groundwater collects beneath the track in pools. As the brutal subarctic winter bites and temperatures plummet to -40, the water freezes and expands. It pushes up the earth and dangerously buckles the track to form humps and dips. When these grow too large, the couplings between the train cars are put under huge pressure until they finally break apart.
Good chance the train could uncouple. The train could lose half their train. So we're trying to avoid that.
Luckily, Rich spots this troublesome track before it could derail the Polar Bear Express.
Well, the colder it gets, the hump could get worse. It takes probably about 5 hours for the train to get from Cochrane to Moosonee. We don't want it to be 10 hours, right? Passengers would get very upset.
Rich and his crew have their work cut out to complete the fix so the train can pass through.
We have to protect the train, protect the track, you know. Try to keep the train safe, everybody on it.
On board the Polar Bear Express, drivers Sheldon and Jerry know how quickly small track defects can become dangerous in the extreme conditions of the north.
Go over an open joint, broken rail, and 9 times out of 10, nothing will ever happen. That it won't derail you or anything like that, but you need to get it addressed and fixed, because in the long run, it can cause problems and cause a derailment.
If we hear something out of the ordinary, we call it in. You let them know so that they can go and check it out.
As they power north, the storm starts to bite. And in the engineering yard, the pressure mounts on Chris and his mechanic to fix the faulty Snowfighter.
Yeah, the 2 buttons on towards the engine and the 1 towards me. 3 at once.
The hydraulic system that powers the snowblower is leaking, leaving this critical machine powerless.
That's where it's coming out. We're trying to get this done as fast as we can, so we can move that snow on the main line.
It takes an hour of poking.
Is that good?
And prodding.
Was it the O-ring?
Yeah.
To identify the problem. An O-ring, or rubber seal, has perished, causing the fluid to leak.
There's the broken O-ring. This is the reason why I'm down. 1 O-ring. Without the O-ring, we have no brooms.
And it's just going to leak hydraulic oil.
Mechanic Chris strips down the hydraulic hose and replaces the O-ring. Only when they fire up the fighter will they know if their fix has worked.
Hey! Nothing came out.
Nothing's coming out.
Perfect. I took care of it. It was the O-ring, so I was right on that. Okay.
The snow fighter is ready to do battle once more. Chris races to get out on the track and clear a path for the Polar Bear Express. One of the northernmost regular passenger train services, the Polar Bear Express has been running between Cochrane and Moosonee since 1964. It's almost the world's last remaining train service, which passengers can actually flag down to stop and runs all year round. For over 50 years, the Polar Bear Express has carried a dining car, serving breakfast, lunch and dinner. Today, the service is still critical for the northern communities and was used by over 52,000 passengers last year. On board the train, Sheldon and Jerry pin their hopes on the storm holding off. The northern section of track can be treacherous.
There's some bad curves, some bad big hills, stuff like that, and it gets pretty bad in the winter. You don't want to really tempt fate if it's that badly out there.
Further north, Rich and the track crew race the clock to fix a section of dangerously warped track.
The cars on the train could uncouple. He could lose half his train or his whole train.
These humps and hollows are caused by frost heave, the freezing and expanding of water beneath the tracks.
The frost penetrated the ground, froze the water underneath the ground, caused the ground to move, and it created a hump. Other spots it'll sink, and we're gonna run out the hump so there's less of a jolt for the train.
Rich uses blocks of compressed wood, called shims, to even out the track.
Sometimes we have them that thick, like 2 inches, 3-inch shims. This is like 3/4 inch. Or just a temporary fix while we have a frost heave.
The team will jack up the track where it dips down to form a hollow, then hammer in wooden wedges. These shims hold the rails in place and smooth out the gradient. But this can only be a temporary fix. In spring, when the frozen water beneath the track melts, the shimmed sections will be left high and dry until the track team return to remove the shims.
Come springtime, they have to come out. Otherwise, that'll stay up. When this goes down, that'll stay up. It'll be backwards. It'll be like reverse from what we have right now.
Fixing the track is a relentless battle. The moment the team complete a repair, Mother Nature sends them back to square one.
Up here, they're shimming a lot more. Up north, they got colder weather, and normally they shim pretty much all winter long here. So we're just digging it out so then we can get the shim under at the highest spot. So then it's not a hole anymore, so it's gradual up for the train.
It's a back-breaking 20-minute fight to fix the first hump.
That's one spot, 11 more to go.
Rich and his crew now need to pull out all the stops.
So we have a lot more to do. We are behind right now.
The Polar Bear Express is bearing down on them. It's hit the halfway mark, and it's time for drivers Jerry and Sheldon to switch over.
Time to work.
Becoming stranded out in the frozen wilderness could be deadly for the crew and passengers. The Polar Bear Express is equipped with life-saving supplies that should help conductors like Tyler O'Grady keep everyone safe until help arrives if a train gets stuck.
This is where they keep the tools in this baggage car, just a few things we might need along our journey. Sledgehammers, you never know when you need stuff like that.
These crucial supplies are stored in tough metal cabinets that are custom fabricated here in the railroad's engineering workshop.
I'm a sheet metal mechanic, and I do a lot of the custom work. So everything has to be sometimes tweaked, modified to suit the situation at hand. This is a large locker. It's 6 feet by 3 feet by 12 feet long. It's going to handle, I believe, the emergency survival equipment in the event of any kind of derailment or breakdown. There's going to be a large tent, chainsaws, survival gear that they can set up a system to house people.
Sheet metal worker Dan Peters custom builds lockers, doors and ventilation panels. Every cabinet must be extremely robust to protect its contents.
It has to be made heavy enough that it's going to take any jarring, rattling, years of vibration. You build it hoping that you never have to use it.
Some lockers are engineered to hold special cargo.
This one is the gun cabinet, and it's designed because it's going to Northern Ontario, that there is still people that are going up on hunting trips and different things like that. So for the safety reason, they have to be locked up.
Dan is now one of the last custom fabricators left working with sheet metal on the railroad.
There was at one time about 7 sheet metal mechanics working in this shop. There's only one other person that is a sheet metal mechanic on the property. It is a bit of a dying trade because of just the situation of doing things by hand is not so much what we do as a society anymore. It has become a custom thing.
It takes 16 hours to handcraft this locker, so it's ready for the railroad. On board the Polar Bear Express, engineers Jerry and Sheldon are counting on the track crew to fix the rails and the snow fighter to clear the northern section of line. In the baggage car, Tyler checks on the survival equipment in case they run into trouble.
So this holds fusees in case an emergency. So if you use them for flagging the train, if you were to break down, you could run out and you put one ahead of the train and one behind the train. So, or the other thing you use them for is if you got a frozen lock in the winter. That's something that happens, a switch lock. You can't get the lock open, you can heat it with the fusee.
Passengers and crew should be safe, even if they become stranded in the wilderness. At the camp, Anne prepares for the passengers' arrival.
I'm cooking up some moose stew. This is from a young bull. Probably about a year or 2 years old, this bull. So the meat is going to be very, very tender, juicy. Very good meat. Any wild meat dish is traditional here. You can have goose, moose, even some people have beaver, rabbit stew. It's the land that provides us our food. That is all on there. I'll put this on the stove and we'll let it boil for about an hour.
The Polar Bear Express is pushing north, and it's making good time. Rich's track team are racing against the clock to beat the storm and the oncoming train. So he's brought in reinforcements.
Right now we have 2 crews together doing these shim spots because right now we're behind.
They have almost smoothed out the bumpy rail, but the storm is closing in.
We got it to where we wanted it. Now we just got to finish filling in the holes.
The team must also check the gauge, the distance between the tracks. This must be exactly 143.5 centimeters, or the train wheels would slip from the rails.
They give it a final inspection.
It's taken nearly 2 hours. It's the moment of truth for Rich, as he checks if the track is straight enough.
The best way to do it is just get down and look. Oh yeah, beautiful. Good. Yeah, that's nice. So we made this hump less of a jolt for the train now. It'll be more gradual.
Perfect.
The track crew clear out the way, allowing the Polar Bear Express to power north over the repaired rails with not a bump or a bang. But the further north they travel, the thicker the snow becomes.
It's a good amount of snow, and it will slow us down a little bit, like having to plow through it. When you get a big dump like this, it can hinder you. The snow builds up, and we're plowing snow right now, so. The snow fighter that clears the snow, he's in Moosonee. By the time he gets down here, it's gonna take him a while to push it out.
Come on, Pokey, let's go. Okay, ready to rock and roll?
With his snow fighter fixed, driver Chris and his trainee wingman Steve must work fast to clear the line. They must punch a hole for the Polar Bear Express, or the train will get stranded.
It's never an easy day with you.
Thank you.
Do you have that screwdriver?
No, I get back to the mechanic.
Oh, I should have kept it.
Then I'd be known as that guy that takes things off the mechanic and don't give them back.
No, he would have said keep it. See some snow fly here.
It's plow down time.
Golly.
Trainee Steve needs to avoid taking out signs as the wings push the snow out and away from the track.
Watch that sign that you hit earlier. You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your wingmen. Okay, we're digging here though. You gotta bring this up.
Steve must constantly adjust the depth of his wings to avoid damaging the track.
Put your wing up, it's too deep. You gotta go a little fast to throw the snow in the bush. Speed helps. You're not digging no holes, you're not hitting no signs.
For trainee Steve, it's a steep learning curve.
You hit that sign, I'm hitting you, that's it.
If you hit me in a dream, you better wake up and apologize.
But Chris sees potential.
See, one day you'll be sitting here doing this, teaching some young buck. Maybe your son.
Maybe your son.
As they push north, the drifts get deeper and deeper.
Ah, my worst day.
This section of track is notorious for snow buildup.
This is where the snow drifts are every year, right here, for the next 3 miles. We're going to hit some deep snow. You're going to see some snow fly. There we go.
When the snow drifts are this deep, it can take several passes to clear the line. Chris has been fighting the snow here for 27 years, and his experience makes all the difference.
This is where it gets bad on my beat, right here. Coming up to another big spot here. It's thick.
After more than 2 hours pushing snow, Chris and Steve have cleared the track.
Put your damn tail up. You're going to get a taste of my backhand again.
No digging, no ditching.
Perfect. Those slaps to the forehead help then, eh?
Trainee Steve shows signs of having what it takes to one day become a prize snow fighter.
He did a fine job. He had a good teacher.
Thanks. Thank you.
Maybe one day he can be as good as me. Time will tell. Just another day in the office.
The Polar Bear Express pushes on through the final leg, to the northern outpost of Moosonee.
We're almost there, and we're gonna get the passengers to where they need to go, so it all works out.
Sheldon guides the train to the end of the line and the most northerly station on the railroad.
And that'll do, 18.6, stop.
It's mission complete for engineers Jerry and Sheldon. Now it's down to Frank to make sure his team leaves none of their critical survival gear on the train.
That looks like yours. Are those your skis there? Everything's well. Looks like we got all our bags, I hope. Have we got them all? Where's Marcy? How many are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. We got 7 people and all the bags. Now all we need is a driver. There's Anne.
Anne arrives to take the team up to the camp.
Nice to see you, my dear.
How you doing?
This is Henry. That's Anne.
Hi. I'm Anne. I won't remember all your names, but welcome to Moosonee, people. Welcome to Moosonee.
Ahead are 5 days of exploring the spectacular wilderness and gaining a deeper understanding of Moose Cree First Nation culture.
We've never gone this far north, and we just wanted to see what it's like.
After a hearty meal of Anne's moose stew.
Who shot the moose, do we know?
This one here is from an accident on the road.
The team heads out to learn the age-old technique of ice fishing on the Moose River.
If they don't catch a fish, they can't go home. Yeah.
Anne's technique may be a little unorthodox.
You gotta sing to them, okay? Yeah, you get down and you go in the hole. They'll come now. Fishing is not only a sport, but it's a part of life here.
The Southerners gain friends for life.
This is special.
I've learned to relax and not fret about things.
I've had some different foods to eat that I've never had before. Yeah. We had moose stew.
We're not sure what we're going to have tonight.
I think moose.
Yes. I don't know. Could be.
A big part of the learning is to understand the impact of trying to westernize their culture. There's a lot to be learned both ways.
After an epic 6-hour mission, the explorers from the south have made it 300 kilometers north into the wilderness.
Come on, fishy.
Some people come up here with an open mind and really enjoy the culture that we have to offer to them.
It's taken the hard-working track team.
So we made this hump less of a jolt for the train now.
The eagle-eyed locomotive engineers.
Oh, it's been a great day. We managed to get the inspection done.
And the tireless train crew.
It's the train that keeps everything connected up to north.
To keep the gateway to the Arctic open on one of the world's most extreme railroads.